come into the atmosphere of tomorrow, missing out what Jesus has done for us yesterday,
All right.
the day before,
All right.
and it carries us on to tomorrow and tomorrow after that.
All right.
So we can begin and continue to appreciate the generation of our mothers.
Yeah.
So I stand here today to say thank you for all the mothers. No matter what type of circumstances that you may be going through right now, you need to know God is on your side.
Amen.
God is standing by you. He's
Amen.
standing with you. In all type of circumstances that may occur, come, go, God is standing with you.
Thank you, Lord.
Why? It's his love that he has for you. That same love that's on the inside is what you're going to come back and give to somebody else.
Amen. Amen.
Because it's virtue. You can't keep it.
All right.
You got to give it away
All right.
for the next generation and the next generation.
Amen.
This is what makes that black man strong. Why? Because most of the time he comes from a strong black woman, or vice versa, a strong woman in heart. Yes, there's trial. Yes, there's tribulation. But that virtue that comes from Jesus Christ's mother's Mary is in us.
Yes.
It's a seed that was planted. It is a seed that I believe here today that will never die.
Amen.
It will always multiply
Amen.
because of the agreement that comes from that mother's. She grieved when she birthed, and she'll grieve when she have to stand there, and he's passing away. She will still be grieving because of her love, because of the affection that is in us, because we can stand here today saying just because. Now he goes down to verse 3 and say, his divine power has given to us all things. All things. No matter what life present to us, all things is presented unto us because of virtue.
All right.
Virtue is in us, no matter what. Our love and affection to life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called by the glory and
Amen.
our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But his mother was Mary, and she had to instill that in him, that virtue part of that man, of the man.
And so he tried to do everything to cause the king to wipe out that lineage. At first, he was just going to get rid of the man. And the man was connected to Esther.
All right.
Come on, y'all. And he groomed Esther for the opportunity to be put in a particular place of where she was developed to be a king's wife,
All right.
if you will. And if y'all don't know anything about those particular times, they had harems.
Yes,
So
they
the
did.
wives were only called before the king if the king wanted them. They could not go in. Okay, you can't walk in the king's kitchen if the king didn't allow you to walk around the
All
king.
right. All right.
So if he wanted to be with that particular wife that night, that it took a year to groom that woman. Oh, y'all didn't understand that.
Go ahead.
Now our women don't want to groom themselves. They just want to just dress it up and run with it. I'm here to tell you, it takes time to develop to be who God has made you to be. It's called maturity.
It does.
It's called identity, identifying who you are first. If you can't love you, you can't love nobody else. Love don't come with the fingertips.
Say it.
People stroking and rubbing and touching you. That ain't love.
No. Say it.
Come on, y'all. Love comes from within.
Yes.
As my husband said earlier, it is a virtue. It is something that is undamaged no matter how many times you have been misused, abused, circumstances and conditions. That kind of love is a virtue. That's called the love of God.
Amen.
And that's why you're able to still care and share and help people and do what you do and increase and raise people when they fight against your upbringing, when they upbringing that you're trying to give them, they kick against the prick, so to be, but you keep on pressing. Mothers don't give up.
All right.
Mothers don't give up.
All right.
You don't ever give up. Women don't ever give up, pressing and striving for the next level of increase.
Well.
You don't lay down and die. You get up and declare the works that God has placed in you for where you're headed. Life happens to everybody.
Yes, it does.
It's not what happens to you, it's how you let it consume you, or you learn how to wash it off your back like a duck and keep it moving.
Yes.
Amen? Esther understood that she was groomed for a particular place. For a year, they would put them in a particular place where the eunuchs would dress and take care of them and bathe them. I mean, they even tenderized their skin for a year to the point, but they smelled like the flowers just in, well, come on, y'all don't understand what I'm saying. They did all of that. They groomed them in their hair. It wasn't a speech thing. It wasn't a look thing. It was the standard of treating them in a way that they learned how precious they were.
All right.
So they would present it to the king if the king called for them after that year of grooming them. They bathed them in flowers. They didn't do anything. They didn't work. Their hands had no calluses. We can't say that today. When I go in stores and stuff and out in the community and I look at women and I look at their hands and they're worn and they're bruised, I don't look at them and just assume that they have abused themselves. I look at them and say, look at all that they've been through. The other day I was in a store and a young lady came in the store and she was out on the outside and it grieved me because she looked much like me. Take it any way you want to.
All right.
When she came in the store, she came in to ask for some change because she was out asking people for money. And so when she came in, I could tell she was my age, possibly, maybe a little older. But as soon as she walked in the door, the gentleman that was running the store screamed at her and said, "Get out." I didn't get out of line. I'm searching within me. What do I do with this? There were two men that looked like me, but they were gendered male, but they were my complexion.
All right.
And they were in front, and they stood there, and they were angry. But their anger spoke and not their wisdom. The Bible tells us as believers we have to discern the time. So I wanted to ask the gentleman, who seemed to be an elderly gentleman, why were you screaming at this woman? So before I left and paid for what I need to pay for, I said, "Excuse me, sir. Why did you speak to her that way? Why did you speak to her in that manner?" He said, "Well, she came in here not too long ago, and she was stealing from my store, and she was putting the stuff under her clothing, trying to take it out of my store. And so I can't do that." Sometimes we have to stop and ask questions. And see, that's what a virtuous woman would do. Instead of flying off the cuff, okay,
Go ahead.
and showing out in the building,
Go ahead.
we need to understand why you're attacking someone like me. What has she done that would allow you to feel so free in the midst of all of us standing here looking like her and you don't, that you can do that? Please explain that to me.
All right.
Y'all ain't got no sense.
All right.
For that matter, he could have told me to get out. Wouldn't have bothered me. But at the same time, I wanted to know, why was she treated in such a manner? And if I could have gotten to her, I would have gotten to her as well. We have got to learn that we are better than that.
Yes.
It's not okay to have people treating you and talking to you any kind of way. But you first have got to know that you are better than that. know who God made you to be.
Amen.
We're made in the image and likeness of a great I am, a spirit-filled, truth-filled God
Yes.
that said we're his favor and his good thing.
Yes.
Oh, y'all didn't understand that.
Yes.
He called men his seed, carry the life. But he called us his favor and good thing. Y'all don't understand. And until, just like the seed of the man, unless it knows how to treat the favor and good thing, the Bible says that anything you put your hands to will not be blessed.
All right.
Amen.
We're living in a society that don't understand order.
All right.
We're living in a society that don't understand order. So I'm going to speak for me. As a mother, as a wife, I will remind my husband, I will remind my children, my grandchildren, there's a certain way you have to treat me to get the benefits of his blessings.
That's right.
And if they don't know how to treat me to get what God has for them, I'm not talking about treat me to make me look good, sound good, look like I'm somebody. I could care less about that. But treat me well so I can know that my Father's taking care of you.
All right.
That's my heart's desire.
All right.
As a wife and as a mother.
Okay.
When you're not in my presence, I can't see, I can't feed you, I can't clothe you, I can't touch you, I can't comfort you, I can't speak kindness and gentleness to you, I can't encourage you in all the suffering that you go through. My heart's desire, treat me well so I know my God is on your side when you're not in my presence.
All right. All right.
Right. Amen.
That you're blessed going in and coming out.
Yes, Lord.
A mother's heart grieves
Yes.
when she don't know.
Yeah.
A wife's heart grieves when she don't know.
All right.
But if you love the Lord, you're going to require of them to have a standard of how they come and go in your presence. In your presence, in your life, that their life is not short and destroyed.
Come on now.
All right, man.
So wherever you are, whoever you are,
Praise the Lord.
honor who God has placed in your life.
Thank you.
Let your life see a place of blessings and peace and restoration quickly, no matter what's going on, as to how well you treat your favor and your good thing. Don't mean you're going to like them. Don't mean you're going to appreciate them every day. It means that you're going to rectify what you need to fix so that you do not lose that place of grace.
All right.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Esther knew what she was put there for. And at the timing she was called for, she was so beautiful and groomed so well. But her uncle had groomed her before that. Mothers, you can't raise men,
All right.
but you can develop husbands for somebody.
All right.
You can develop them in their son position. But fathers have to step in and condition them to be the men.
All right.
If everybody would just take their position, the burden wouldn't be so hard.
Amen.
It's hard on all parties because everybody won't stay in their lane.
All right.
I'm not made to be a man. I'm made to be a mother, a woman. I'm made to give off love, charity, show what long suffering looks like. If you ever pay attention in all society, mothers have always been the ones that even if the family was broken and destroyed, that's who everybody blamed. What did you do? If women get beat in these days, they have the audacity to say, what did you do? What did you say? In the society we live in now, you don't have to say or do anything. Because somebody has this conclusion that we are made to be punching bags or slaves, sex slaves, whatever it is. Take on abuse from the word, from the verbal to the physical to the mental to the emotional to the dollar. Somebody got the wrong idea of who we are.
Well.
But if you get it, women, if you get it, mothers, if you get it, then when your back is turned, when your days are over, then the children, and etc. If we make the mandate of the standard, don't put your guard down. Don't come down. Don't lie to them. Don't lie for them.
All right.
Because if you don't turn this around and go back to the true and living God and the order he established it, then he won't be able to deliver them when they need delivering the most, because we won't be everywhere at all times.
All right.
This is why we must keep a standard as mothers. You require they honor you and respect you.
Amen.
If they do not, that's when you walk away, stay out of their presence until they can honor what they have, because I say this to you. There is a snuffing out. God the Father said in the Old Testament, if you ever put your hands on your parents, he said you will die.
That's true. That's right.
But Jesus Christ came along and brought in called grace. Repent, get it right. We have a society of people that don't think they need to repent for anything. You gonna respect me because I'm gonna demand it. You can't demand respect.
All right.
$1 don't make you worth being respected. Your title don't make you worth being respected. Are you consistent in who God made you to be? Are you who he made you to be, no matter who rejects you?
Amen.
That's respect.
That's right.
Are you putting a requirement of how well you are honored in your role? Mamas, you don't game with children. We play with them, but we don't game with them. And I know the difference between playing and gaming. Gaming is when you are always trying to covering up for them. Do not give them their future. It ends their future.
All right.
I always told my children, when you get to heaven and you see the Lord, you can tell them, this is a fact. I'm here, but she Jesus me to death. But she didn't introduce sin to me.
All right.
She didn't teach me to smoke. She didn't teach me to drink. She didn't teach me to lay up with people. She didn't teach me to lie and rob and steal and kill. But she taught me the love of God.
All right.
Even the hardness of it. When she would make me understand that you have to take accountability for everything that you do.
Amen.
Amen.
That is the love of a mother from the Lord. And it came time for Esther to become the queen and marry the king and become the queen. After he was pleased with her, then she was given the order from her uncle and said, tell him that Haman, his right-hand man, has devised a secret plan to wipe out your people, and your people have done nothing. He just don't like who we are. He was telling the king, and the beauty of it is everything in its timing. Everything in its timing. Mothers, you got to discern the times. Discern the time to pray. Discern the time to cry. Discern the time to scream. Discern the time to give and share. Discern the time to make them accountable. Discern the fact that we are not their gods.
Amen.
We're instruments of God's in their lives.
Amen.
We're sent with a plan
Yes.
that opens up their day of deliverance. And if you do that well, then God will do all that he said he will do.
Amen.
He said, I'll save your whole house.
All right.
I don't know about you, but I know this for a fact. I don't care how far they go. I don't care what country they leave and come
All
to.
right. All right.
They will come home one day.
Yes, they will.
So when God said he's going to save the whole house, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord.
Amen.
As for me and my lineage, as for me and my people, I'm going to be the mother that embodied the idea of understanding
All right.
that salvation has to be a part of your life.
All right.
Get mad at me if you will. Cuss me if you will. Jesus even said it. Cuss me out if you want to. Just don't mess with the power of God. My entire family will tell you, I'm not one to run in and out of people's houses, not because I'm ashamed of anybody, not because I'm angry with anybody, not because I don't love anybody, but because I love them, I stay out of their place. Because if they don't know who is among them from the Lord, and I'm not talking about apostle, I'm talking about the identity he gave me from the day he spoke my name. In Genesis. For I make them male and female. Know your role. Stay in your lane. For the benefit, for those that are to come long after you. It's not for now. It's not for you. It's for open the day of what Esther did in Esther, in the Bible. She, at the will of God, by obedience, whether she loved him or not, whether he was old or she was young, it didn't matter. It mattered her role. She carried it well. And because she did, her people were delivered.
Amen.
Ask yourself, Lord, what would you have me to do this day as to who you've made me to be as a mother? Some of you say, well, I ain't got no children. You got nieces and nephews.
That's right.
You got cousins. You got somebody around you that's younger than you are. There's a mother's touch in all of us.
Amen.
A stranger or somebody. A young man came out behind the counter of a restaurant the other day, and he just looked at me. He looked immediately across the counter. He said to me, he said, I've got to come from behind the counter. He said, oh my God. He said, I've got to come from behind the counter. I've got to come give you a hug. And I'm still asking the Lord, who is he, Lord? Young fella. And he said, I'm working, I'm doing okay. Don't mean I don't have it hard, but I'm doing okay. And he just gave me a child's hug to a mother and said, thank you, and just went on back. See, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who you touch.
Amen.
But if you do what you do well, you may not always get to see the fruit. I thank God for the little fruit that I do get to see. My mama didn't get to see all the fruit. My stepmom didn't get to see all the fruit, but I'm living it. I'm living it. My siblings are living it. My children are living it. We keep the history going of who we've been made to be.
All right.
Some now, some will get it later. I don't care when they get it. I just want to make sure that I've done my job from God. So that that day will come, he can look at me and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's, but you sure got that right. And I go back to what he said to me years ago as I was driving down the road, going home one day, going across a bridge. And his spirit spoke to me and said, it's okay for even your child to hate you for the moment, because they will love you forever.
Amen.
In the end. We got to quit trying to be their friend. We got to quit trying to be popular. Let's just be who God has made us to be.
That's correct.
His favor and his good thing.
That's correct.
Amen? Tell God thank you.
Thank you, God.
Hallelujah.